Hello, it is so good to see you today. I really hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I have some very specific advice for how we as middle-aged women can achieve our goals in 2025 today. I think when I learned about this, I'm like, this changes everything. Stop. Like, this is what we need to do in the new year. I don't know, we're just at a different point in life and we need different tools, I think, to be successful. And sometimes the advice we hear from very well-meaning men doesn't quite hit it for us as women. So I'm really excited to share that with you today because even though we just got done with Thanksgiving, and I know you're probably like, "Oh my goodness, it's less than a month till Christmas," like that is going to take center stage here. I think it is still in the back of our mind too, wondering if we even dare like make any kind of goals or resolutions for the new year, or would that just be setting ourselves up for failure? But I think I have you covered. And so I think it's going to be really good. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how to achieve our goals in 2025 as middle-aged women. We're going to talk about self-control, self-esteem, self-efficacy, and also I do want to mention that we have a huge gigantic Black Friday sale going on right now for our membership community. So after Monday, the price is going to go up from $15 a month to $45 a month. So if you join now before the end of the day on Monday, that's a savings of $360 for the year. And so it's a big deal. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but there is a link in the description to if you've maybe been thinking about joining our membership group. I talk about it here and there. We've had it going on for 5 years now. And man, we have it dialed in how to create accountability, motivation. We spend lots of time together. It is such a cool group, and I'm so proud of it. So, just so you know, that is going on right now too, in case you don't hang around to the end, which you don't have to. That's totally fine too. But like I said, I'm actually really excited about talking about this idea of achieving our goals in the new year as middle-aged women. But first, hello. I sometimes get talking really fast when I'm excited. I really hope that you had a good Thanksgiving. I know that holidays they can just be such a mix, right? Good things, bad things, sad things, happy things, complicated things. And so I'm glad I'm learning that both things can exist. Like we can like be like, there were some really good things about it. And also there were some dumb or hard things about it too, right? So anyways, we actually ended up having pizza for Thanksgiving. I'm not sure if my mom wants me to broadcast that over the internet, but we were both on Wednesday just kind of uh, like, when you're just dreading something and it's like, well, that's not supposed to be the spirit of Thanksgiving. And so she was just kind of like, I just don't know if I have it in me. And I was also kind of feeling a little bit like I enjoy like hosting with her and making food and doing all of that. But this year it just felt like too much. And so we had joked the day before about just having pizza for Thanksgiving. It was kind of like, oh haha, joked with my dad and brother. And then on Wednesday, I'm like, "Mom, like, let's just try this on for size," right? Like, what if we did just have pizza, right? And she was like, "I would just feel so much better." And I'm like, "Me too. Me absolutely too." So that's what we did. And well, we had one complain. Maggie was not very thrilled about it, but I'm like, "Megs, do you want to cook all the Thanksgiving food?" And she's like, "Meh." And everyone else was gonna have like the full Thanksgiving feast at another get together. So I don't think we were totally stealing everyone's joy or whatnot. So it was good and it was easy and cleanup was easy and there's leftovers today still for food. So I think for this year it was a good decision, right? And it doesn't mean that's the tradition for, ever and ever. So but all that to say, I really do hope that you had a good Thanksgiving. Crazy to believe Christmas is less than a month away. Ugh. Um, so I know we all have a lot to do about that, but let's talk a little bit about this idea of achieving our goals as middle-aged women, right? Or older too, or younger probably too. But then I will talk a little bit about our membership group, and also I do want to leave some time to answer your questions as well because that's always fun too. So I've been learning more about I like to share the psychology behind stuff, right? And especially in our membership group, we do spend so much time together and it's so fun. I love it so much. Um, but I'm always what I had been trying to put my finger on more recently is why when I got my house decluttered and I got it highly simplified. Again, I've shared it took me about a year to go from messy person, we had 4 little kids, to getting our house to the point where I called ourselves minimalist. So it was about a year-long process, getting rid of about 80% of our stuff. And the unexpected benefit, because I was just doing this as a housekeeping tactic, the very unexpected benefit of that was my confidence in myself skyrocketed. And I have since then, it's been 9 years now since I did that major purge. I have always been trying to put my finger on, like, what? Why? Why did me decluttering my house increase my confidence in myself? And I feel like I have finally figured it out. So, we're going to talk a little bit about self control, self esteem, and self efficacy. I will explain what self efficacy is. I think we kind of have a grid for what the other two are. So, here's kind of the concept that I want to explain today that I think could actually change everything as we head into a new year. So, efficacy is actually what needs to come first if we want to increase our self esteem. So, self efficacy means I have the tools and the skills that I need. It's believing that I am capable, that I'm actually able to do the thing that I want to do. And for many of us, especially as women, I think this is where we actually get derailed right at the very beginning when we set out to achieve any kind of goal, is that we don't actually have the skill set that we need to accomplish what we want to. And even when it comes to decluttering our home, I think on the outset, when we first get started, we think this should be very easy. Like I all I'm doing is removing stuff from my house. Like I'm just simplifying. I'm just getting rid of stuff. Until we get into it, and we're like, "Why? Why is this so emotionally charged? Why am I having such a hard time with this?" I mean, don't even get me started with baby stuff and kid stuff, right? But, like, why am I so attached to this? Why can't I let go of this gift? Why do I have all of these, like, really intense emotions tied up around this stuff. Like it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And so that's where sometimes I think we oversimplify it and we think like, yeah, I know how to declutter. Like it's not that big a deal. And we can usually get through a couple easy layers of the onion truly doing that. But then sometimes we get into it, we're like, why is this so hard? And so having the skills that you need. And so that is something we do in our membership group day in and day out. We get together every single day in there, is to give the skills that we need and to practice the skills that we need and to bring community around it to validate what you're feeling around this. Now, the second thing here as we look towards building to building this confidence was that self-efficacy when we have the skills and the tools that we need actually leads to self-control because we need both of these things because self-control is the follow-through. It's the I'm committed to decluttering my house. Like I fully believe you could have your house all the way decluttered by the end of 2025. So that's my goal. That's what I want to do. And so we need some self-control. We need to set times when we're going to declutter and we need to show up and do that, right? But again, usually we try to like jump to self-control. We're like, okay, new year, new month, new week, new day. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this, right? And we try to like muscle our way through it. And I'm like, I am going to beat my flesh into submission, right? Like, and so we're like jump to self-control, not realizing that maybe part of the reason that we don't follow through is because we don't have the skills or the tools that we need or the community around us setting us up for success. So I why I think this is so important is especially as women, I think we have beaten ourselves up so much to say like, oh, and I hear you say this and it just bugs me, right? Because I've done this to myself. I'm lazy, I'm unorganized, I'm unmotivated, right? Like we get so down on ourselves when we start putting these labels on ourselves about these things that aren't actually true. That's not true. We've just gotten to this point where the inventory in our house has gotten to be so much. And I'm sorry, but for most of us, no one taught us how to declutter it or manage all of this inventory. My mom did not have Amazon Prime. She did not have the dollar spot. And I can't even remember when the dollar store came around, right? Like she just simply did not have to manage the amount of inventory that we have had to manage. Nobody taught us these skills and nobody gave us permission to say that it's okay if you spent money on that. You can let it go because I grew up in a time where stuff had value and you kept it, right? Because it would be so silly to get rid of something and not have it when you need it, right? And so we've had to make massive, as a generation, we've had to make massive mindset switches around the stuff in our house, going from it being an asset and like, oh my goodness, keep everything you possibly can to realizing that it is destroying our mental health, our self confidence, it's giving us stress and anxiety So we need that permission to let stuff go and to be reminded that it is 1000% okay, and we're gonna value our mental health and the need for peace in our homes over this stuff that we have acquired. Now, here is the coolest part though, is that once you get this stuff, the self-efficacy, the self-control, this actually leads to improved self-esteem. So we don't wanna start out trying to increase our self-esteem. Sometimes we think like, well, if I believed more in myself and I felt better about myself, then I would achieve my goals. But if we go this route, increasing our self efficacy, which leads to better self control, which then gives us higher self esteem in ourselves. I like myself. That's what self esteem is. It is awesome and it is solid. And so this is what I experienced when I got our home decluttered was that I had actually followed through with something that I set out to do and it felt so good. And I no longer felt like a bad mom, a bad wife, a bad housekeeper. I was able to stay on top of my house. I didn't realize all of those negative messages that the clutter in my house was sending me. And so that's why I can now be in a place where I can say like, yes, decluttering my home skyrocketed my self-esteem and my self-confidence and now I can see logically like why that happened because I learned new skills, I used them, I then developed self-control and did it and followed through with it, which made me believe in myself so much and made me believe that I could then achieve other goals as well. So, self efficacy and self esteem sound similar, but are different concepts. If you believe you can do something, so the ability to follow through and do something, that's self efficacy. If you like yourself overall, that's self esteem. Now, both are good, right? But again, we don't want to just set out to improve our self esteem. In fact, where I was reading this, it was in a psychology textbook. Um, it was actually saying that those who set out to improve their self esteem first, like if your goal is just, I want to improve my self esteem or self confidence, often we look to others to measure that. And those in a study I was reading about, those who just set out to increase their self esteem actually ended up feeling worse about themselves 6 months later. And they were more likely to turn to addictive substances. And I was like, oh no, 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 we can't do that. Right. So we start with self efficacy and then we go to the that leads up to the self-esteem. That's the route that we wanna go. So, there's nothing wrong with setting out to improve our self-esteem, but I was like, "Oh, no, that's the worst." So so I found this fascinating. I'm just gonna share this a little bit, and then we'll talk a little bit more how we can apply all this. So, Stanford psychologist Albert Bandura captured the power of positive thinking in his research and theorizing about self-efficacy, how competent we feel on a task. Believing in our own competence and effectiveness pays dividends. Okay, this is the cool part. Children and adults with strong feelings of self efficacy are more persistent, less anxious, and less depressed. They also live healthier lives and are more academically successful. In everyday life, self efficacy leads us to set challenging goals and to persist. More than 100 studies show that self efficacy predicts worker productivity. When problems arrive, a strong sense of self efficacy leads people to stay calm and seek solutions rather than ruminate on their inadequacy. Okay. Again, as women, is any of this resonating? Like when we mess up, then we start ruminating on why we messed up. And then it's often harder for us to just solve the stinking problem, anyways, right? So when problems arise, a strong sense of self efficacy, it leads people to stay calm and seek solutions rather than ruminate on their inadequacy. Competence plus persistence equals accomplishment. And with accomplishment, self confidence grows. Self efficacy, like self esteem, grows with hard won achievements. Isn't that so encouraging? So, again, I think it's kind of a simple mindset shift of, okay, I need to learn the skills. I need to feel confident in my ability to conquer what is ahead of me. And then I'm going to be much more likely to achieve it, which again leads to self esteem. My conclusion is that self control is worth 10 times as much as self esteem. And, I think that's actually, when I was reading about like self control, I'm like, yeah, that's actually, I think, what most of us want, right? Is that idea that like I do follow through with things that I set out to do, whether it's things I tell my kids that I'm going to do in my home that I'm going to do, getting decluttered, but then the other things too that we want to accomplish. And so I think starting with your house, again, is such a great place to work on building self-efficacy, which then it leads to self-esteem, and then it makes it so much easier to believe you can achieve goals in other areas of your life. So here's what's cool. Okay, I love this because this then is absolutely how we have built our membership group. So we have a private membership group where we work one on one, hand in hand with you to declutter your home. And so we can absolutely help with the self efficacy because that is what it is all about, skills, tools, reminders, right? Because sometimes we hear this and we're like, yeah, Dawn, that makes sense. I'm nodding along, long, but then it's like, but can you remind me tomorrow and the next day and the next day? And it's like, yes, that is absolutely what we do inside of our membership group. And then we can help with self control. We have so much accountability, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit, built into our group with body doubling and live decluttering and daily videos, not to mention the coolest community on the internet. And so, those top two things, I can 1000% come alongside of you and help you with. I can absolutely help you with the skills you need and the self control to show up and get things done. And sometimes people will ask, like, "Well, how is the your membership group different than your YouTube videos?" Because you don't understand. You don't understand. like I'm getting kind of passionate about this, right? Because I believe in it so much. You don't understand. Like we get to hang out together. Like I go live all the time. We have body doubling going on twice a day. I have daily videos in there and then we go back and forth in the comments. You will post what you're doing and your successes to our group and you get feedback and you win prizes and you have challenges and you start to feel so good about yourself. Okay, so here's what I want to let me just talk about the mentorship group real quick and then I really do want to spend some time answering your questions. So it up until this point, so for the last 5 years, again, we started this 5 years ago, I can't believe, like, it is so cool, and it has evolved to be so dialed in and so helpful, but initially, what our group has been about for the first 5 years is all about decluttering, and it was laser focused on that. We would sometimes get a little sidetracked, but, on other things too, but all things decluttering, motivation, 5 minutes matters, showing up, live challenges, and then adding in body doubling. And so we still offer that as our base membership tier. Right now, you can get in for $15 a month, and then it's going to go up to $20 a month after December 3rd or on December 3rd. I get dates wrong. After Monday, Cyber Monday. But by popular demand, I was always being asked to also talk about the home management side of things, the meal planning and cleaning routines and productivity, getting the stuff done on your checklist, and also stress management too. And I love those things, but I was like, I just feel like we gotta like get your house decluttered, then we can work on that stuff too. But I'm also realizing now that when we declutter our house through the lens of making laundry easier, making cooking every day easier, making meal planning easier, managing the stress in your life, and we declutter through that lens, you go further faster. You are more ruthless with your decluttering. And so now we have added a second tier to our membership group. It's called Live Free. So the lower tier is called Clutter Free. We're adding a tier called Live Free that is all about home management. Now, here's the deal, and this is why if you've thought about this at all, I want you to get in now because this is going to go up to $45 a month on December 3rd. And so this is going to be all of the decluttering stuff in Clutter Free, and then we're going to add on all of the home management and stress management facets as well. And so I have weekly office hours for those in Live Free. Like you, again, like we actually get to hang out and see each other. Like you can log in on Zoom and ask a question, right? And we'll talk about it. So we have live office hours. We're gonna have every Sunday morning for our household management, we're going to have a live planning meeting where we go through our task, our like to-do bin. We do our meal planning for the week. If you can't join us live on Sunday morning, then there's a replay, a facilitated replay later in the day too. That happens live with a facilitator, so you still have an appointment. But then this has been really cool. Now this is what we added in more recently, and in both the clutter free and live free tiers, you'll get access to it is body doubling. So I had learned about body doubling as an ADHD tactic for productivity a while back. And then as I learned about it more, I was like, well, this is what we do when we are decluttering live. And so I was like, we need to do more of it. So now 2 times a day, we have live body doubling with our coaches that are very skilled and they facilitate it. So 10 a.m. Central Time and 7 p.m. Every single day there is live body doubling going on because what I know about you is that you need a time, like, you need to have a time on the calendar where you show up and there's others there. Like, we are community beings. I love courses and different things, but this is all about live personal interaction. Whether it's with me multiple times a week or whether it is with our coaches, it is about you feeling like you are surrounded by others that are doing the same things that you're doing. And we're sharing ideas, we're sharing the skills, we're reminding each other, we're giving permission to let go of stuff. We're saying things, like, oh, my in-law came over for Thanksgiving and wondered where the gift was that they gave me last year for Christmas. Like, I felt kind of bad, but mostly I'm glad it's out, right? And then we're there to say, yes, you did a good job. You made the right decision, right? We're with you every step of the way. And that's what I love about this community so much is that it's interactive. We're doing it together. It's not just a like, oh, hey, go off to the side there on your own and watch this and try and implement it with every other thing you've tried to do like that in the past. Right. And so that has been my focus with this group and it's just been so good, and I I believe in it so much, and so, I would love to get to work alongside you. We are also just coming out with a new app that where you can interact with the content, so up until this point for the last 5 years, it has only taken place on Facebook, so if you've been wondering about that, it was always on Facebook, which honestly served us so well. I know Facebook has downfalls, and I don't want you doom scrolling, right? So we're so happy in the next couple of weeks here to be rolling out our new app. So I just want you to know that if you do join our membership group now, just for the first couple weeks, it is going to be in Facebook. You don't have to do that. We'll give you access to the videos another way too if you don't want to have anything to do with Facebook. But over the next couple weeks, you will get invited into this. We're just in our final testing of it right now, and so you can bypass the social media. Go right here. If you can see here, I can't. I'm trying to point to my screen. It was so important to me that it be simple. And so it is buttons that just have the main things that we do, our daily videos, our body doubling, our current challenge. If you want to go into the Facebook group and do it, you can do it there. If not, you can stay here. But super easy to navigate, to have on your phone, and for us all to be able to interact together. There's a very robust community feature in there as well where we get to interact. And so that was definitely a drawback back in the past that we only had it on Facebook, but we have fixed that and it's going to be so good. And I'm really excited about it. And then the twice daily body doubling again at both tiers, and lots of like live decluttering. Just like I said, so many appointments on the calendar, times where you show up, where you interact live. That has been one of the features that is really what we hear for our members. Really creates a lot of success for them, and of course, there are always replays, live replays available afterwards as well. If you have any questions at all about any of the membership stuff, I do want to invite you to email membership@theminimalmom.com, and you can definitely get any kind of questions answered there. But really, I do want to encourage you that the price is going up, especially for the live free tier. Sometimes people say, like, well, I'm not sure like which tier I should, I really need to get my house decluttered. Should I just focus on that? If you need any help in the realms of meal planning, cleaning routines, task management, staying on top of your to-do list and stress management, I would very much encourage you to try out Live Free because the price is the same. So you can change tiers at any time if you want to. Get your price locked in at the $15 a month, and you could go back and forth between the two tiers. But if you're on the fence at all, please just join Live Free. I think that is where you're going to have the best experience, and you can't go wrong right now with the price, right? Also, I do want you to know that you can cancel at any time, and we do offer a 30-day money back guarantee. So I don't want your money. I want you to be successful. Why do we put a paywall? Because you have to be invested a little bit. And that's why I really wanted to get this out here now before the prices go up. That, like, if you have been thinking about it, if this sounds like something you could use in the new year, just jump in now, get your price locked in before it goes up. And then even if you're like, I kind of need to snooze it until like the new year, that's totally fine. All of our main live free content will not begin until January 1st. We do have a fun December maintain, don't gain challenge going on for the month of December if you have bandwidth for that. And it's going to be good. And it kind of helps us to head into the new year with some momentum and feeling good about our decluttering. But if not, like absolutely, you could just be like, I'm going to join now and then really plan to get active in it January 1st or that week between Christmas and New Year's because we'll be doing like our whole house reset. Like actually right after Christmas is like really the perfect time to jump back in again. But I would encourage you to join now because the price is going to go up so significantly. And so if it's anything that you've been thinking about, and again, you can cancel anytime. So I really just want to be here to help you, to come alongside of you. And this is the way that I can do that, like very interactively. Okay. Whew, I get a little ranty. Sometimes I don't like that, but I do feel so passionate about this because like the feedback we get, like when I say we've been doing this for 5 years and we have it dialed in, we have it dialed in. Now, some of the things in the past, like only being on Facebook, that was limiting for some, but we're getting that like solved now too. And so if you need help with your home, I believe by the end of 2025, you could be feeling so confident in your home management skills, your decluttering, your meal planning, cleaning, and your own personal self confidence. I believe that with every fiber of my being. And I love, love, love getting to do this in community. When we are encouraging each other and sharing ideas, it is so vibrant and alive and active. And it's so fun to get to be a part of. Okay. So, real quick, if anyone has any questions about our membership community, I want to answer those real quick. But then otherwise, I would love to just answer your regular questions too about thinking about anything. I don't know, which is totally fine. Wow, hi and good evening from Newcastle. Please, if in any doubt, go for it. You will not regret joining. Sharon, thank you. I really appreciate that. And yes, it does work in from all areas of the world. So I'm always glad to hear that. Or well, yeah, is this okay for empty nesters? Any religion? I'm really glad that you said that. Yes, we have women in every single season of life. New moms, old moms. I don't know, right? Empty nesters. Many are live single, live on their own, and yes, we try to be very sensitive to all religions. Once in a while, we'll talk about like it from a faith, but I always try to just be very aware of that. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to talk faith for a second. I want everyone to feel welcome here and never want to offend anyone. Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, Bethana. Yeah, what if I don't do Facebook? Yep, we got you covered, man. So it'll be it'll be really good to get you into the app. Yeah, I love this too, Biggie. I don't aspire to become a minimalist, right? Yeah, I still watch your content and take useful insights from them that I can apply to my desired lifestyle. Just a little less stuff, less overwhelm. I love that, Vicky. And that's the thing too. Like, you don't have to want to be a minimalist for this to be helpful for you. I do think though, getting our houses simplified and decluttered, I can't believe how much that translates to us. I mean, so many women in our group now, like all the things they go on to do then, hobbies they pursue, volunteering, going back to school, watching their grandkids are like, now I can have my grandkids over a couple days a week. It's been so fun, just the wide variety of how first we get our house decluttered, and then from there, just like all the other things that come in our minds to do and how we have the confidence then to do it. It's so cool. I love it so much. Yay. I've watched you for years. I have your book and just joined Live Free. That is so cool, Jennifer. I'm so excited because we get to just spend so much time together, right? Like our live sessions, doing our planning for the week and decluttering together and office hours and body doubling. I try to pop into body doubling too. And so it really is very interactive. I just want you to know that. Awesome. All right. Well, Yeah. Thank you, Andy. I know I'm late, but hello. I highly encourage the community. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Awesome. If anyone has any other types of questions, I am more than happy to answer that too. Also, I did want to mention my earrings are from Trades of Hope, and we've talked about it a little bit. If you have a little bit of Christmas shopping to do, I will put my link for Trades of Hope. But all of the jewelry is created by women to help them out of poverty. So this is Alice. She says, I assemble jewelry in Kenya. It is not good for people who are disabled here. They are treated poorly. It is so hard, but I'm happy doing this work because I feel free. I finally feel like a person. Oh, darn, I'm gonna start crying. I can even send my adopted daughter and orphaned niece to school. Shoot. So everything you buy from Trades of Hope, it does help women in other countries. It just helps empower them, and it is so cool. So if you have any Christmas shopping to do, these earrings are from there. I'll show you the necklace. Adeline was trying to. I just got this little bow necklace. It was not so cute. Adeline was like, she's like, you don't want to wear that, right? I'm like, Adeline, it is adorable. It is a bow. I do absolutely want to wear it. She's like, no, it looks like something more like I would wear. I'm like, stop it. And then I also just got these earrings too, which I thought, they're just kind of like minimalist and fun, right? This is Sandy. She says, all of us in the workshop are so pleased to work with Trades of Hope. We hope that you continue to buy our handmade crafts. One of my dreams is to finish my education. In the long term, my dream is to study in college. And so that is Sandy. Isn't that just so cool? All right. So if we got to do some shopping anyways, I'll make sure to get my link for Trades of Hope into the description as well. Thank you for supporting all the things that I become passionate about. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I'm late. How was Thanksgiving pizza? Shannon, it was good. I don't see it being a annual tradition. I do enjoy Thanksgiving foods. It wasn't even that, but for yesterday, it was exactly like what we needed to do. And I'm so glad that both my mom and I felt free to just be able to make that decision, and there really wasn't blowback. So thank you for asking. Um, do you have snow in Minnesota? How are Tom's projects going? We don't. We got a slight dusting yesterday, but we don't, which is so good. We don't want snow yet in Minnesota. If we can make it like up till Christmas, it makes the winter shorter, and like no one wants to have to like plow or shovel snow right now while we're trying to get ready for the holidays. It just makes everything harder. So we are totally fine not having it. And yeah, Tom's really been keeping his head down, getting projects done. But we have renters in the moved in house. If you saw one of his last videos, renters in the farmhouse. So it's been going good. He's had like other stuff with like some tiling and different things he's had to do at those properties. And once like the renters got into the moved in house, I think he was going there weekly, just fixing little things. The stove didn't work. We tried to like, we're gonna buy a used stove, and then it doesn't work. And the water was really rusty, so we had to get a iron curtain installed there. But now I think it's going pretty well. So just all those little things once you get moved in to a house that hasn't been lived in for so long, right? So yeah. Um, Awesome. Thank you. As a busy mom, I appreciate your tips and encouragement. Keep it up. I love your videos. That means more than you know. Honestly, like yesterday, I was feeling just so much gratitude for you. Like I'm like, how have I gotten here? Just to be surrounded by so many encouraging and kind and loving people. I feel so fortunate to get to do what I do and to get to spend time with you. I like honestly our membership group, like we have become so close and like such a close community, and like it is my joy to get to spend the time. I never am like I never don't look forward to it. I'm always like, yeah, like this is good, and I feel energized afterwards. And um like I just really appreciate that we do get to interact so much and spend so much time together. It's been really good, and we've all actually over the last 5 years been through a lot together. And so it's been really good. And again, just to clarify too that if you join now before the end of the day, before midnight on Monday, you will be locked in at that $15 price for the lifetime of your membership. So you're gonna, the price is gonna go up after this. You'll see the price up. You will always be locked in. Your price cannot change. If you are a current member, your price cannot change. So you are locked in at whatever rate you sign up for. You will be locked in at that forever. So that is very important to us. Shannon says, I live in Ontario, Canada, and would love a repeat of last winter. Yes, so much more mild than other years and hardly any snow. Shannon, if we could have last winter all over again, oh my goodness, I think we would all pay money and be like, "Where do we have to send the check to" yes, could not agree more. We've really had a good fall too, right? It just now got cold, I think, I don't know what it is. It was, like, in single digits last night and stuff. So we've been fortunate, like, we have had a good fall, but man, yeah, we would take a a repeat of that. Mariah says, "So thankful for you, your whole family, Don. I'm often quoting your words of wisdom to others and myself." That really means more than you know. Like, I appreciate that so much, and it's so humbling to me. I don't take it I don't my eyes watering, I'm really not trying to cry right now, but, um, it's so humbling to me, and I just appreciate that so much. So thank you, and, like, it's reciprocal. I know sometimes when I bump into you in public, like, the first thing you say is, "I feel like I know you," and honestly, I'm like, "I feel like I know you too." I don't know how that works over the internet, and I know we haven't met in person, but I absolutely feel like that too, and so I am just so incredibly grateful, and everything I shared at the beginning about this, about us as middle-aged women achieving our goals, probably what I should have added in there too is there is something powerful about doing it in community. We've tried to like muster all of our strength on our own for so long. And so just to come into like an accepting community where we can fully be ourselves, but also be seen and heard and understood, it is so powerful. It is so powerful. We need more community and more friends in our life, right? And so I love that if we can't get together in person and do it in person, that we can do it online. It is so cool. All right. Well, I'm going to wind up for today, but I love you. I am so incredibly grateful for you. And it truly would be my honor and pleasure to see you inside of our membership group and to like conquer in 2025 to increase our confidence and to get our houses decluttered and all of our systems like just like on autopilot. That would be so cool. And I know you can do it. And truly believe if we stick together that you can do it and we can do it together. All right. Well, I love you. I hope you had a really good Thanksgiving. And I will definitely look forward to seeing you again soon.